Tonight on NewsVision, the NCAA has made a groundbreaking announcement about the future of college athletics. But how might it affect the University of Miami?
So I thought it was a great next step. I do think there's still a lot of the details that need to be worked out.
We have team coverage on that story. Also, our reporter is in Hong Kong and will bring you the latest on the protests that have been going on for months.
Just be sat outside the cafeteria, and then suddenly like a bunch of protesters would come and march, and when you're going back home to the MTR, it's like all vandalized.
And later on, the Miami Hurricanes women's soccer team plays number 3 ranked UNC in the final game of the season. We will be live before the game. These stories and much more ahead on NewsVision. It starts right now.
First tonight, the NCAA makes a big move that might change the game for college athletes all over the United States, including here at the University of Miami.
Athletes could soon be able to make money off their name and likeness.
Good evening and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Simon Lear.
And I'm Dave Downey. Thank you for joining us. We have team coverage of our top story tonight. Our sports anchor Maxwell Trink is at the Hecht Athletic Center looking for answers on how UM is responding. But we begin here in studio with Grace Smith. She joins us now with more on this historic announcement. Grace, why is this such a big deal?
Thanks, guys. Tuesday morning, the NCAA Board of Directors voted unanimously to modify its regulations around athlete compensation. College athletes could soon begin to profit off their name and likeness, a move that seems like a natural progression for the organization.
Modernizing what we do for our student athletes and providing another benefit. And I know our student athletes are going to be excited about whatever we come up with. We still have some work to do in order to figure out exactly what that looks like.
This move isn't unprecedented. In September, California became the first state to allow college athletes to profit from their athletic careers, with Florida and Illinois quickly following with similar legislation proposals. And although the board has stated disagreement with the California model, the pressure was a big motivator for nationwide action.
The California law and other states bring about laws is probably a pressure point for us and caused us to move, and I think that that's okay.
So we think this should be done in a national model that allows everyone in the United States a fair and even chance to be able to compete.
All of this coming after an NCAA group was established back in May to investigate the issue. But even with big changes coming to athletic compensation, the organization stresses that it will still fit the collegiate model of play.
So the working group itself included student athletes, some former student athletes from very high-profile programs and high-profile sports, and they've been very supportive of trying to make sure that there are some changes that will allow student athletes greater opportunities to monetize their name and image and likeness. That this isn't about becoming a professional or an employee-based athletic model. It's about providing greater opportunity to the students that are there now.
The NCAA has appointed 3 different divisions to work on the transition and hope to have legislation prepared by January of 2021. I'll be back later with more sports, but for now, let's go live to our sports reporter Maxwell Trink to see how UM officials are responding to the news. Max, what are they saying?
Yeah, guys, and of course, big news coming out for the NCAA. Earlier in the week, last week actually, Governor Ron DeSantis came out and said that he's going to back any programs, any possible laws that are going to be in place for college athletes to be able to get paid for their name, likeness, and image. This came right after California came out with the same law. Of course, the NCAA came out with their own statement saying that they are going to be able to be allowing, student athletes to be able to get paid and receive those monetary benefits. We had the opportunity to speak with UM's Director of Athletics, Blake James, about the issue.
I don't think it came as a surprise because you've seen a number of other states that have since jumped on board, and we have it coming in the state of Florida as well. So I thought it was a great next step. I do think there's still a lot of the details that need to be worked out, and I think that'll happen in the coming months before this officially goes into place.
And of course, the biggest thing that's coming out of this is that the NCAA has to make up these new rules and update their current rules. And the clear distinction between collegiate and professional athletes are at stake right now with these new monetary benefits coming to these student athletes. Of course, the biggest news coming out of this as well is that the Associated Press came out and said that there is potential for student athletes here in Florida to receive their pay coming by summer of 2020. Reporting live here at the Hecht Athletic Center, I'm Maxwell Trink. Back to you guys in the studio.
Max, thank you. And breaking tonight, despite every single Republican president voting in opposition, the House has begun to formalize their impeachment inquiry against President Trump. The final vote, 232 to 196.
That vote was split entirely along party lines, which sets the stage for the next, more public phase in the investigation.
The resolution is adopted without objection. The motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
A divided House sent a message. The impeachment inquiry into President Trump is moving forward.
It's a sad day because nobody comes to Congress to impeach a president of the United States. No one.
The step is significant. For the first time in the Trump presidency, representatives voted on the record and set rules to make the impeachment process more public.
As the inquiry proceeds, we'll decide whether we'll go forward with impeachment. That decision has not been made.
At issue, a whistleblower complaint alleging the president pressured Ukraine to investigate a Democratic rival. The political polarization in the Democratic-led investigation on full display. No Republican voted for the measure. 2 Democrats voted no on the resolution.
Not only did every single Republican reject this Soviet-style impeachment process, but we were even joined by Democrats who couldn't stand it anymore.
And almost immediately, President Trump reacted to the decision, tweeting, "The greatest witch hunt in American history."
In the sham that has been putting this country through this nightmare.
This is the 3rd time the House has voted on an impeachment inquiry into a sitting president. It's still unclear how long the investigation will take.
The White House has announced that ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead, killed in an operation led by the United States military over this past weekend. Delta Force soldiers raided an ISIS hideout in northwestern Syria late Saturday, and Donald Trump made the announcement on Sunday morning. During a speech, the president remembered freelance journalist Steven Sotloff, a Florida native who was captured by ISIS members and beheaded in a graphic video, which the terrorist group released to the public in 2014. After his death, his family established the Steven Sotloff Two Lives Foundation that awards a scholarship each year to support student journalists, including UM students. This year's recipient from the University of Miami will be announced at the Dolphins-Jets game on Sunday.
Turning now to international news, there are more protests in Hong Kong today pushing back against the government.
That's right, and this unrest is having a big impact on some UM students who are actually studying abroad. Our own reporter, Trey Vaughn Howard, is there.
Good evening. These past few weeks, Hong Kong has seen a rise in political demonstrations, and I spoke with a few students here at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and they tell me that sometimes going off campus can be overwhelming because clashes between police force and protesters can happen at any moment. And even though the university sends out emails of planned protests in the city, pro-democratic expressions have made their way here on campus, as you can see right over here.
Flyers on the floor, like all the graffiti spread on the walls. It's really sad to think that people would actually do that to their own university.
After 4 months of political unrest, facilities and buildings on the Chinese University of Hong Kong have been vandalized.
You could just be sat outside the cafeteria, and then suddenly like a bunch of protesters would come and march, and when you're going back home to the MTR, it's like all vandalized.
Liberate Hong Kong crossed out pictures of Chinese political figures, and spray paint of anti-China expressions can be seen across the campus.
These protesters who actually do it don't clean it up themselves, so then you see like the cleaners on the floor, like in the heat of the day, they're just scrubbing it away, and it's really heartbreaking.
The protests in Hong Kong were sparked by the introduction of an extradition bill. Earlier this year, government officials proposed the bill after a Hong Kong man murdered his pregnant girlfriend in Taiwan. The agreement, however, would not only include Taiwan, but also mainland China, giving Beijing more power over the city.
So if someone was against the Communist Party, then even though if they're in Hong Kong, with the extradition bill, they can legally extradite a Hong Kong citizen across the border and face trial in China.
In recent months, Hong Kong has seen a rise in political demonstrations, creating a more polarized environment. Exchange student Cameron Reddig initially supported the protest, but after experiencing firsthand clashes between protesters and police force, he thinks the violence has gone too far.
The protesters had gotten to the point where it was more of a clash on clash with authorities instead of actually protesting.
Reddig says the protesters seem to be preparing for war, using violence in their fight for change.
Passing along a a lot of first aid kits, bricks, anything you can think of they had, and it wasn't much protesting. It was just preparing for police to come.
And although the extradition bill has been scrapped, protesters are still demanding more change, leaving many unsure about the outcome. Now, even though these protesters don't have one main leader, as a whole, they've been working towards 5 main demands. And these demands, one of them has been met, which was to withdraw from the extradition bill. The other 4 include greater democratic freedoms, investigation into police brutality, release those arrested who were in the protest, and for Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam to resign. Now, will these other 4 demands be met like the first one? We'll just have to see in the coming months. But for now, reporting in Hong Kong, Trayvon Howard, UMTV.
It's kind of cool to see one of our own there on the scene over there, but it's really going to be cool to see how long that sticks around out there.
That's been going on for a pretty long time. Doesn't seem like we're anywhere near a resolution. Still ahead tonight on NewsVision. Cane's coming out. We'll take a look at how one gay student has found a new home and a new family here at UM.
And Trick or Treat, we're live with a look at how the University of Miami Rathskeller is celebrating the spookiest day of the year.
And currently it is pretty warm out, 83 degrees in Miami and in the low 80s throughout South Florida. Coming up next, we'll have your spooky forecast, a rainy week up ahead, and game day weather for those of you coming up to FSU. Back to you guys, or after the break.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Thanks for staying with NewsVision. Welcome back. As we all know, Miami is home to many people of all different sexualities.
And Simon, that's how one gay student who was rejected by her parents was able to find her home away from home, right here at the U. Here's Jessie Locke with more.
Ashani Frazier, also known as Shay, is your typical student. She enjoys watching her favorite football team.
Yes.
Repping intramural volleyball. And being herself with friends. But this side of her only came out after she left home.
I struggled a lot with depression around that time because, I mean, when everyone around you basically says, oh, you're not right, something's wrong with you, then you tend to feel like there's something you need to change. So when you're in that space, it's very, very hard to feel okay.
Ashani's parents forced her to go to a Christian school in an attempt to make her conform to their version of normal.
Because we had Bible class every morning and we were required to go to chapel. So I think in a way that they really thought that it would change something.
But at Miami, Ashani found her home away from home.
And when I came here, everybody was just kind of like, okay, you're gay, so what?
She has found a family and supportive community through her friends and the job she currently holds at the LGBTQ Center.
Being in a place where, and like in a space where like everything about me is normal and that's perfectly okay and I don't have to feel different.
But most importantly, Ashani has made an impact on the people that matter to her most.
She definitely can empathize with people in a way that a lot of others can't. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Shay.
This supportive community has not only embraced Ashani with open arms, but has also allowed her to accept herself.
I need to be okay with who I am first, and if someone else doesn't accept it, then at the end of the day, oh well. And just the ability to be free in myself has really changed my whole outlook on life.
Student government has dubbed this week SG Did That Week. And today, student government ended the week with a spooky event for students. The event kicked off Monday with stickers for suggestions, where students could submit a suggestion in exchange for a festive sticker. Tuesday and Wednesday offered a tastier treat with free pizza on Tuesday and coffee on Wednesday. And today, students filled out campus surveys to win prizes, including candy, fanny packs, and guess what? Even more stickers.
So the purpose of Student Government Did That Week is to really connect the student body with student government. We want to let them know what we've been up to, and we want to hear from them on feedback on what they think we should do, things they want to see change around campus.
Students had to spin the wheel to determine which prize they would receive. Student government reps said that the event would be back next year.
And they are not the only ones celebrating Halloween on campus tonight. The Rathskeller actually just wrapped up a night full of frights and fun.
Our reporter Sophia Vitello is live there with a look at all the trick and treats. Sophia, how was it?
Thanks, guys. The Rathskeller had a spooky happy hour to kick off the Halloween night. It was hosted by Rab Run. The Rathskeller's advisory board run complete, as well as free candy being passed out while the students picked their favorite items on the menu. On top of it all, the legendary Hocus Pocus was played on the big screen to really set the theme for the Halloween night. But the best part was the 10% coupon for soda and food for all of the students who attended this event. It was a fun and social night for all Halloween lovers. I'm Sophia Vitello with UMTV at the Rathskeller. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, Sophia.
You know, trick-or-treating is tonight. It is Halloween night, but none of that can happen without it being a dry night out there. Sabrina, how's it looking tonight?
It's looking beautiful outside. So currently it is 85 degrees. Not too bad. There's a slight wind, and it's honestly a beautiful night for Halloween. And currently, as you can see, the last few hours, there's been not a drop of rain in the sky. Lovely evening. In our futurecast, however, this will change as we see some rain moving in Friday night, and then into Saturday, we see a lot of showers popping up in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. So tonight will be beautiful. Spooky forecast will be 80 degrees, clear skies, lovely night for Halloween. Looking into tomorrow will be 87 degrees, an absolutely gorgeous day out, northeast wind 10-15 miles per hour. So it will feel a slight bit cooler as there is a little bit of wind, but still pretty warm. However, in the northern part of our state, in the Panhandle, it is a good amount cooler. That's because of this cold front that's moving across and dividing the state of Florida, almost between summer and fall. If you look at the temperature, 65 degrees in Tallahassee. That is cooler than our lower temperature. And so it is much cooler there in Tallahassee. So for our game day forecast this weekend, if you are making the trek up to Tallahassee, it will be 66 degrees at kickoff, 65 at halftime, 60 degrees, clear skies. Beautiful, but a bit cooler day for us to beat the FSU Seminoles. And so for our 7-day forecast, as you can see, there will be rain this weekend, showers lasting up until Wednesday morning, and they will clear out in time for Thursday. We'll have highs in the mid to upper 80s and lows in the upper 70s. And so I'll toss it back to you guys.
Thank you, Sabrina. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty good night for trick-or-treating. Good weekend for FSU, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago, we were in the 60s at this time, and now we can't get out of the middle 70s.
I'm not complaining.
I am. I'm waiting for those lower temperatures. But after the break, rivalry is in full swing here, but those who cannot take the field are battling FSU in a different way. And we'll take a look at one soccer captain who is striving to leave her mark on her final year. All of this and much more on NewsVision when we return. Don't go away.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm sports anchor Maxwell Trink, live here at Cobb Stadium as the Hurricanes playing their final game, the final soccer game that is, here at Cobb Stadium throughout this 2019 regular season. Of course, not only is it Halloween, but it is senior night here in Coral Gables, and they're honoring 5 seniors, including 3-year captain Deja Kaysen. I had the opportunity to sit down with Kaysen as she reflected on her time here at UL. 3-year captain Deja Kaysen is soaking up the end of her collegiate career.
Just gonna take everything one moment at a time and just like embrace it.
The vocal left back has been a true leader in her 4-year career, seeing obstacles as objectives.
Most players go out of their way to do what's comfortable and get the ball back to their right foot. Deja goes out of her way to be uncomfortable so that she can be better in the heat of the moment in the games.
The senior went to American Heritage High School in Plantation, Florida, where the idea of continuing to play soccer took root. Division I coaches showed significant interest in recruiting the South Florida native.
I wanted to play college soccer, but I didn't know what level I would make it at. So it's kind of like them reaching out to me saying, oh, you're good enough, and that kind of instilled the confidence in me too.
And 4 years later, Deja Kaysen is the loudest person on the pitch for the Miami Hurricanes.
She's really good about making sure that when something is off or needs to be adjusted, she tells them.
Definitely vocal, just so much energy, a lot of enthusiasm, always keeping people on top of it, and also a lot of skill and composure to the game. She always knows where the ball needs to go. She knows the game and she knows what needs to happen.
Once the final seconds fade off the scoreboard of Cobb Stadium, Kaysen knows exactly how she wants to be remembered.
I'd want like the girls I was captain for this year to basically say next year, be like, hey guys, like Deja wouldn't have allowed that, or like this is what Deja would have done.
Hold. And of course, right now, what's going on is they're having a ceremony for the seniors. Christina Fisher was just announced, and of course, Deja Kaysen coming up. But if you do have some extra time from trick-or-treating tonight, you might want to come down to Cobb Stadium and get this awesome t-shirt. Of course, student organization category 5, coming out with these sick threads, 305 in the front, and guess what's on the back? Cobb Mob, the student section here for category 5, and a lot going on. Of course, this is the last game, kicks off at 7:30, so if you want your last fix of UM soccer, you better come down to Cobb Stadium tonight. Reporting live here at Coral Gables, I'm Maxwell Trink. Back to the studio with Grace Smith for more sports.
Thanks, Maxwell. It's rivalry week here at UM as Hurricanes football team prepares to go up against Florida State University this Saturday in Tallahassee. The Hurricanes will be coming off a big win on the road against Pitt, a division game for the Canes led for 3 quarters. Miami's defense bounced back with 3 turnovers, and the offense executed in fourth quarter crunch time, both keys to closing out a game against the Noles this Saturday. Of course, that rivalry does not only go down on the field. This week, UM students had the opportunity to compete with FSU while contributing to a good cause. It may be Halloween, but that's not vampires taking blood. During the annual Battle for the Bucket blood drive, UM students competed to donate more pints of blood than FSU. Students visited donation buses and the Shalala Student Center to donate.
We're offering a couple different procedures to help out different people. Whole blood as well as platelets. Goes to anybody going through traumatic experience, surgeries, any type of blood loss situations. And also, especially the platelets, they help out cancer patients.
All blood drive donations will be sent to hospitals across the state of Florida. One Blood has yet to announce who the winner of Battle for the Bucket is. Moving over to the hardwood, Hurricanes men's basketball opens their 2019 season with a decisive win over Flagler University during last night's exhibition game at the Watsco Center.
This is our first opportunity to play against outside competition at the Watsco Center for this year. It was really a terrific opportunity for us to emphasize to the players some of the points that we've tried to make.
The Hurricanes dominated and led the score for almost 40 minutes. Junior guard Cameron McGusky stands out during his first game for UM, putting up a game-high 20 points. Now men's basketball is preparing for their season opener Tuesday against Louisville. We have all heard the expression, the grass is always greener on the other side. Well, now UM is that side. Anyone who's been by the Stanford and Heck dorm towers knows that big changes have taken place at the intramural fields. UMTV's Justin Stevens has a story.
It took about a half a year of extensive renovations, but the intramural fields at the University of Miami have finally reopened. And for junior Denisha Peterson, she can already see the difference.
A lot of people come out and they enjoy just being here. You can see the atmosphere is different.
The renovation includes a new sod field, an improved irrigation system, new LED lights, and the removal of part of the purple parking lot, costing the university $5 million. Scott Levin, the executive director of the Wellness Center, says that this project is special to him.
Well, to me personally, it's probably will be the largest project that I'll ever have the opportunity to work on in my time here.
The IM fields are used 7 days a week and by over 45 clubs and student organizations as well as members of the community.
In terms of numbers, there's thousands, tens of thousands of usages per year, all year.
This is the second time the fields have been renovated since they opened in 1994 and will not only make the fields safer, but they'll be more eco-friendly too because of the LED light. The fields were also shifted towards Santa Mauro Drive in preparation for the second phase of UM's new housing project when it opens in 2024. But according to Tom Soria, the Associate Director of Wellness and Recreation, one of the biggest impacts will be the new drainage system.
The drainage system is supposed to be super outstanding as opposed to the last time as the old IM fields. As opposed to waiting for a matter of days after a heavy downpour, we'll be able to use it in a matter of hours.
And for Denisha, the fields aren't just a field of grass.
It's a big deal. It makes you feel like you're at home.
For UMTV, I'm Justin Stevens.
We are almost out of time, but here is one more story for you to put you in a spooky good mood. One Tampa Bay area restaurant is serving patrons both human and ghostly.
That's right, Dave, and sightings by employees and diners suggest that the venue named the Iberian Rooster could actually be haunted. Surveillance video shows a pastry dish falling from a counter with no one near it, and paranormal investigators had issues with their equipment when they came to check it out. Investigators say they think that the entire block is haunted, but the manager of the restaurant says nothing will scare her away from work. Well, Dave, that's pretty scary as it is. I know I'm ready for some trick-or-treating. It's about that time.
It is. According to the weather forecast, it's going to be nice tonight, but warm.
Can't wait for that.
Ghosts are definitely true after seeing that, by the way. That's confirmed.
I'm sold for sure. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us.
We'll be back next week with an all-new episode. Until then, have a safe and happy Halloween.
Of course, we'll leave you with a look at how some of our good boys and girls are dressing up tonight.